All right, I guess we are live. So, a very warm welcome to everyone present here. So, my name is Devansh Rawat, and I am the lead for Developer Student Clubs, Bharati Vidyapeeth Deemed University, College of Engineering, Pune. Today, DSC BVP Pune, in collaboration with DSC ECB BTU and DSC UMIT, are here to talk about Google Summer of Code. So, we have with us Hitesh and Sakshi. And Hitesh, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, hey guys, this is Hitesh Toma, and I'm currently the DSC lead for Engineering College of Bikaner Technical University. And first of all, thank you for collaborating with us. I mean Devansh and Sakshi. So, a bit about our club is we mainly focus on practical implementations, right? We encourage students to participate with us, and just most of the time we are just implementing some apps, or we are helping out some universities, or we are helping out some NGOs. So our main focus is that. So yeah, that's about our club. And if you want to join, and we organize many events like this, so feel free to join us and be updated for the future. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Sakshi Grover, DSC lead for Usha Mittal Institute of Technology, SNDT Women's University, Mumbai. At DSC MIT, we believe in building a strong community where people can learn and grow together. Our goal is to combine new ideas and technical skills and bring about creative, innovative developers and leaders. I'll be just moving forward about today's session. And as we all know, it's highly evident that in every developer's journey, open source plays a very important role. This program is aimed to generate more awareness about Google Summer of Code and to help students clear their doubts and confusion about the program. We have with us two immensely talented speakers, Ayush Bharadwaj, a final year undergrad at Amity University, Noida, studying computer science and engineering. In the Google Summer of Code 2019 and 20, he has developed projects for Fossology. As the co-founder of Hypnos and a hackathon addict, he has led more than 10 prestigious hackathons and emerged as winners or finalists in almost all of them by developing projects for various social causes. Sahil Jha is a final year computer science undergrad student at Amity Noida. Last summer, he has worked with Alibaba Cloud's middleware team, and this fall, he worked with National Resource for Network Biology as a Google Summer of Code student. Hypnos was just found as a regular hackathon going team, but over the years, Ayush and Sahil Bhaiya have come across so many students seeking mentorship. Hence, they decided to expand the horizons and make this an open collective for uplifting students in the field of open source and for general software development. We'll be handing up the stage to our speakers, Ayush and Sahil Bhaiya.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you for the introduction, and glad to be here. Looking forward to this.
Hey, I just wanted to know that is my audio clear, and is there a lot of background noise from my side? Because my neighbors decided to party tonight, and my
It's clear
ISP
from
also
my.
decided. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you, Sakshi, for introducing us. Huh. Hi. Hmm. Just a second. Hi, sure. You want to pull up that open source 101 slide, or is it a Q&A?
Well, maybe we can answer the questions first, and in the end, if time allows, we can show the slides. Is it okay?
So guys, you can go ahead and show the slides first, and then we can take up the Q&A. Like, does that work?
Okay.
Okay, okay, sure. Let me pull up the slides. I hope you guys can see the screen.
Yep, it's visible.
Okay, great. So we will be introducing about open source first, and then we will take in the questions or any of the live queries we will be having. So let me introduce myself. I am Ayush, and I am NLP researcher by profession, and currently I am in my final year pursuing computer science and engineering from MIT University Noida. I participated in Google Summer of Code in 2019 and 20 as well, with the organization name Fossology. Also, currently I'm working on three of my projects, and I am maintaining two of the projects for my organization. And we have with us Sahil Jha. Sahil, can you introduce yourself?
Hey, I see this is a pretty old intro of ourselves. So yes, so in 2019, I worked in Alibaba Cloud as a SD intern. In 2020, I was a Google Summer of Code student with the National Resource for Network Biology. And currently, I am working as a SD at Mesh. So that's pretty much about me, and you can find me on internet by SDHA2048.
Yep. So let me start with the introduction about open source, what open source basically is. And then we will move ahead with next slide. So basically, when we refer to the word open source, so most of the time people actually get confused what is the open means here. So in terms of code bases, you get the code base freely available on various platforms like GitHub, and you collaborate with your team and your another community members to work on a similar type of project or same project most of the time. So in terms of transparency, we have the code base ahead of us, but we don't actually know what is the term open means here, because here the open source is in terms of the free software which is freely available to use, but there are some terms and conditions applied to it, whether we can redistribute it or modify it or basically do anything with that code base. Also, there is a difference between open source and free software. And Sahil, you can tell the difference.
Yep, sure thing. So, as Ayush mentioned, like many people have a wrong idea about open source. So, and here also we have mentioned what is free software. So, this free doesn't mean that the software is free by cost. It was basically derived from the Latin word libre, which means freedom. So, here free basically stands for freedom, like you're free to do anything. So there's a famous saying in open source that okay, the software might be free, the time devoted by the people, that's not free. So don't don't take open source as a free beer. So yep. So again, I would like to reiterate: in open source, you have the code base open with several license restrictions, and in free software, those restrictions are more, what can I say? Like you are more free, more independent to do anything with that software. Yes, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and also you have to give the credibility to the author itself. So in most of the cases, when you are dealing with any open source software, and you are doing anything with the code base, you are let's say for example you are changing something in the code base and you are making another project out of it. So you have to open source that also. So there are various licenses, and my project was mostly to identify those licenses in my during my GSoC. So I got to learn more about the open source licenses. There are many licenses available. The most commonly used in Python ecosystem is the MIT license, which is basically free for everything. You can do anything with the code base, and we have some restrictive licenses for any creative stuff. We have creative licenses, and there are more than 500 OSI approved licenses. So there is an authority named OSI which actually gives the authority to make any licenses or actually give the terms and condition of a particular licenses. Basically, what we can say, authority that deals with the licenses, that is called OSI. And where we are dealing with open source, the most common example is the Linux. So Linux software is the OS is the most common example, and Sahil can tell you the story about Linux. Sahil,
What story?
how it
Sorry.
started and
Ah,
like
Linux. So It was just a pet project of Linus Torvalds, and he never thought that it's going to be such a huge project. So, out of just curiosity, he just shared his project in the mailing list, and many famous folks got interested in this project. They started developing it together, and that's how Linux grew. You can read about it more on the internet. We are not here to bore you. So, Ayush, can we give them example of open source in terms of GSoC, because this event was more focused on Google Summer of Code.
Okay, so basically in GSoCs there are different organizations, and most of the projects are on GitHub, and there is GitLab and many other distribution platform. So the term open source in GSoC is mostly related to the projects and organizations. So you will get to know about different organizations that are different projects, and these projects are industry level projects, and most of them have very less number of maintainers, and so Google decided to engage more students into the open source community. That's why they sponsored this program, Google Summer of Code. So here you get along with some organization, you work on some project alongside with your mentor, and you actually contribute to the project itself. And last time in 2020, it was a 3 month long period, but now the time has been reduced to 1.5. And you will get to know the different people from the community itself. You will interact with them on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, and these are mostly related to the organization. Every other organization have their different schedule. And talking about the project, and these projects I have already mentioned is used in industries itself, and many of the libraries, one of my library is Nirjas and Atarashi, that basically deals with the license scanning. So many of these libraries which you use in your code bases are mostly open sourced. And I'm talking in terms of Python. So even if in JavaScript or any other languages there are several projects, and some of the organizations are very specific related to domains. Like you will find different organizations from astronomy, uh, mechanical engineering, electronics, electrical, even CERN from the physics, and everything else. So you have the wide perspective of different organizations, and according to your interest you can contribute to them. So how does the open source development actually works? So Sahil, would you like to start?
See, how does open source development works? So I'll again focus this conversation in terms of GSoC, how open source development works in GSoC. So as Ayush mentioned, like it's a 3 month long program. It used to be a three
It
month long
was,
program.
yeah.
Now it's a 2 month long program. So in between, you have two evaluations. So what do you have to do in those evaluations? Like what is the mentor expecting from you? So as you all must know that you have written a proposal, you have proposed few things, and you are now selected. So you are now supposed to work on those proposed changes or feature additions, whatever. So how these changes or feature additions get merged in the code base. So we have a standardized version control tool mostly used by all of the organizations. It's Git. You must have heard of it somewhere in your college life or in your internships or anywhere. If you haven't, then you are living in a well. You should hear about it. So there's a standard workflow, like how do you contribute code in an organization. Like first, you however issues, like you browse the issues, what's going on in the organization, what are the issues that an organization is facing. Let's say if you find a good issue, like okay, I can work on this one. Now you will ponder on it, like think about it and look out for ways how can you solve it. Let's say you figured it out that this is the way that I am going to solve this issue. Now what do you do next? Again, these are like Git terminologies. Like you fork the project, you open up a pull request, then pull request gets reviewed by the maintainers, then your pull request gets merged. So Sakshi and Hitesh, like can we explain these Git terminologies, or can we move forward? Like we can if we have time. Mm, okay. So
So,
what
Sahil,
else?
I think we can explain a little bit about these terminologies.
You want to go ahead?
Okay, so we have issue sections. If you looked at any of the code base on GitHub, any of the project, so there is a tab named issues, where any user or developer or maintainer or basically anybody can open an issue regarding the project, or they have any question, or they found any bug, or they want to do some
Ayush,
improvement.
Ayush, can we take up a live example? Like, let's go over any
Okay,
repository and explain them live.
I'll have to share the uh, next tab. So,
Do it.
okay.
Okay. Let me know if the background noise from my side is too much. I'll switch my location.
It's only a little bit. It's okay. Like in sometimes it's coming too much and sometimes it's fine.
Sorry about that. Cannot do anything.
Let me know if you
Yeah.
can see the screen.
Yep, it's visible now.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you hover over the GitHub, any of the repo regarding any of the project, so you have different things like code, issues, pull request, and these are the common ones. So the code has all the file folder structure, everything, each of the file, each of the content of the file, you can open it up and look it up. Also, there is a next section called issues. So here you can see different type of issues. Let me open the label. So anything related to the project which shouldn't be there or which need to be changed or something which you want to add on to that project, you can open one issue. There is something called bug or enhancement, or for the beginner there is some level called good first issues or beginner level issues. So you can open that up. That is basically meant for any newcomer that want to contribute to that particular project. So these are the easiest issues to solve. So let's say if you opened up an issue and you want to solve it, so the first thing I'll recommend is to actually comment down that you want to solve this issue. Also, if you want any help from the maintainer or the mentor itself, then you can write that down. And while solving the issues, if you get any more particular doubts, then you can directly head over to any community channel like Slack or Gitter or Discord or mailing list, anything that the organization use. My organization Fossology uses Slack, so you can ask questions there. Or let's say you have solved one issue and now you have done 20 or 30 changes on the project. Now you will have to open one pull request. Pull request is basically something, some changes that you want to be merged in the original project. So let's say you want to merge three different files into the project. So there is something called branch. So the main branch is the by the name you can guess it is the main branch. So basically it has everything related to the code, and it is basically going live at this moment. You want some changes to be added into that main branch, so you open one pull request, and with your branch you want those three files to be get added into that branch, into the main branch. So you open one pull request with every details and every changes you have made. Let me show you one example. So let's say this is one feature which increases the speed and matchup improvement. Uh, you can look up the changes that these are the lines deleted and these are the lines which are added basically. So these are the changes, and this is my maintainer, and he wants these changes to be merged into the main branch. So he opened one pull request, he explained everything regarding that pull request. Also all the file changes and everything is there. There is something called commit. So when you make any changes, and it is basically writing down a specific page or a specific thing you have changed. So let's say you have done three changes. I have already mentioned you have added three different files, and now you want those three files to be associated with one single issue. So you will write down the commit that hey I want to, not hey I want to, but basically something that will explain that three files addition much more clear. So here there is commit, there is conversation. Again, it is not a personal project. We know this is an industry level project. So when there are more of the people involved in the same project, it is not easy to actually maintain that. So we have different maintainers to do that. Also, most of the times, if you want to merge something, if you want to add something, the maintainer will first review it, the other maintainer will test it, and then everything will be approved. In the last, any other maintainer will merge it. So there are different layers involved during those process, and it is a continuous workflow, and it is the same workflow that is used in the industry. So you get that little bit of exposure how industry level project actually works.
Yep. So there's the thing which Ayush explained right now was the flow in general for contributing to
Yep.
open source, not just limited to GSoC. And do we have that slide next? What are the benefits of open contributing to open source or GSoC? Let's cover that first. Like I had one thing in my mind. So
Okay.
whenever
Okay.
you let's say you have developed many personal projects, and now you sit in an interview, and the interview asked you, okay, what relevant industry experience you have, and and unfortunately you were unable to gather any internship experience. So what do? So you can mention these open source contributions in that interview, because for instance, let's say you approach Google. Hey, Google, hire me. I want to look at your code base, but you didn't qualify those DSA rounds. Google will kick you right away. But but open source community won't. They won't. They will not take any kind of interview of yours, and this is how you can gain the valuable insights of the code base, how industry really works, what is the production level code base. Like we have all done hackathon projects. Those hackathon projects maybe die within 3 weeks or month. So like yes, open source is a great way to gain industry exposure as well. So yes, let's move ahead. Okay,
Yep.
ethics. This is a very important point. Like many people miss this. uh Ayush, you can start first, and I'll continue.
Okay, sure. So, like I already mentioned, that open source is open in terms of transparency, but the people are not free. So this is not a full-time thing, and most of the developers are doing this for the past time. So there are several ethics related to the community, and while maintaining the community, you will have to follow that. And if you get involved in those conversations, you will have to be patient about the reply. So I have seen for most of the students that they ask questions, and they are basically asking vague questions. Like most of the time, I get questions like, "How do I crack GSoC?" or "How can I contribute to this project or this organization?" And these things must be Googled first. So the first thing you should do is to Google your questions, so that you can ask that specific question. If you will ask that specific question about my project, I might answer that. And if you will ask me, hey, I can how can I solve this issue, that I won't answer that, because if I will tell you that, why not I personally solve that issue? And it is like serving everything to you on the plate, and this is not how the community works. And you will have to do that hard work for yourself. And if you have doubt regarding, hey, I was solving this issue, I encountered this problem, and I am thinking of two ways to approach this, which way should I go first? So that is the type of question I will expect from you if I'm a maintainer of the project. And Sahil, would you like to add anything?
Yes, so these ethics are all about common sense. Okay, you know that you cannot abuse anyone in the community. You have to respect others. You have to be patient. And yes, like Ayush was talking about vague questions. Yesterday, I heard one question like, "Okay, what can I do with Python?" Like, like you can do many things, but he was like, "Okay, now give me guidance. Like, what can I do about Python? What can I do with Python?" So this is the question, like we maintainers like don't like to answer, you can say, because 99% of your queries are available on Google. You are it's just one click away. So I we have seen students losing their patience in just 2 or 3 hours. And let me tell you something. When we were GSoC students, we also had to wait for around 1 week or 2 week for a review. Like when mentor was obliged to give us a review, then we were waiting for 1 or 2 weeks, and then how can you expect that someone will reply you in 2 or 3 hours? So patience is one of the major thing. Apart from that, there are other ethics, but those can be associated with open source ethics, like what should be the commit message. What do we have a slide on that, Ayusha? It's included in this only.
No, I don't think. But every other organization have different, what we can say, ethics regarding the commit message and everything regarding the code base or contribution. So you can look it up into their project. There is something called contributing.md in most of the projects. Let me show you. And these are very specific to organizations. So for different organizations, you will find these completely different thing written here. So there is something called contributing.md file in which you can find all the basic ethics, or we can say basic workflow of that organization, and how you can contribute to that project or that particular organization. So you can read that up.
Apart from this, we have a golden rule. Like we follow personally, you can also do if you want to. Like for one change, there should be only one commit and one pull
Yep.
request. So one change, one commit, one pull request. We have seen people like, even if you're in your personal projects, you are like making 10, 15 commits in a single repository and then merging it. I know that it's your own personal project. You can do whatever you want to, but you need to develop these good habits. Even if you're working on your personal projects. So yes, so that's what that was all about ethics. And as Ayush mentioned, every organization has a different set of ethics, and most of them have this file contributing.md. You can look it up. You should read it twice or thrice if you do not understand it in once, like me, because I have missed a lot of times. So yes, let's move ahead.
Okay. So, what's in there for the organization? I've already mentioned that these are industry level projects, but people are not getting paid for that. And most of the people are doing this for the pastime, and they have their regular job. And apart from that, even if you are contributing to any particular project, let's say you solved one issue, and soon you will left and go to another project, and these things are very continuous. So there is not a set of what we can say regular developers, regular contributors to a particular project, and if there are, they are very limited in numbers. So what's in there for the organization? If you look at the repo of any project, these projects are built over time, like in 2 years, 3 years, and there are different peoples involved. Some of them are core developers. Let's say me and Sahil decided to start a particular project, and we gather two or three more people from our friend circle, and we are now actually contributing to that project. And once in a while we get different contributors, like if we organize some event and we will introduce you folks to that project, then on that particular day you might make one change, and two other people can make changes also. And after that you will left, but the core developer team will be there for the project. So these are the things which organizations are actually facing in this particular moment. So the main motto of GSoC is also to engage student into the community, and they want student to stay there for the particular project. And as you can see, I'm maintaining my project also, and Sahil is maintaining their project. So after GSoC, we are also contributing to that project, or even if we are not contributing, we are actually maintaining them. We are looking to solve that issue. If any other contributor wants to contribute to that project, then we are helping them to solve that. So these are the things which an organization want from any particular contributor who wants to contribute to their project. Sahil?
This last point was very important in particular, because I will give you a scenario, like as let's suppose, like I'm a hypothetical mentor, and there are two candidates for GSoC 2021, and one candidate is extremely skilled, but I can see that he or she will abandon his or her project as soon as he finishes it, and the other one is like is okay-ish, but I can see that he has a will to stay in this project and contribute to this project regularly. So I will invest my time in the other person, even he or she is not as much skilled as the first person. And so what I am meant to say is organizations are willing to spend time with you if you show the intent of contributing to them for a long period of time. I can provide you resources, I can go on with one-on-one calls with you, I can resolve your doubts personally, but yes, you'll have to show that will that you are going to stay here, you'll not run away. Because many students do this, like they abandon their projects, those projects go to archive state, and there's no one to look after that project. So this is
Yeah.
really sad.
Yep. And let's say right now GSoC is offering a reasonable amount of money as stipend, but if there was no GSoC, I must say these open source projects would have been gone in archive for a very long time, and this thing needs to be changed. I believe. What do you say, Sairi?
Just look around yourself, like you will find yourself using many of the open source softwares. You're using VLC, you're using Linux. So just go over the VLC idea list page, and you'll see that majority of the features that you see in VLC currently are developed by students like us. So yes, so like we are the thriving force behind the development of these orgs. Like you can support your favorite project, not just regarding GSoC. Let's say you like Spotify, you like to shop on Flipkart. Flipkart has their many open source projects. You can contribute to Flipkart. You like Spotify? Spotify also has their algorithm open sourced on GitHub. You can check it out, you can contribute to it, and this is also kind of a proud position. Like, okay, two guys are talking with each other, you can say that, hey, do you use Spotify? I have contributed to Spotify. So so this is also really cool. So don't contribute to open source for the sake of GSoC. This should be like, this should come within from yourself. And yeah, why not? I guess this is better than internships, contributing
Yep.
to
Yep. Yep. And also it's
than
free and there is no interview involved.
yes, no one is going to reject you here.
Okay. Moving
Okay.
forward. So, how can you approach an organization? And I am actually presenting this in terms of GSoC. So, how can you approach any organization, any mentor, or any project? Let's say. So, first thing is to choose your project and choose your organization. So, the organizations can be chosen on different basis. Like for the tech stack, if you are familiar with a particular tech stack, then you can choose according to that. You can choose projects according to your interest. Also, let's say you are using some of the software or libraries and you want to contribute to that. So there are different libraries, different projects, different softwares like that which you use on your regular basis, and these most of them are not in GSoC, but a few are. Let's say, for example, TensorFlow is there, also VLC is there, and different projects are there, and you can contribute to that also. So how can you approach to that organization? So first, when you land up to their GitHub page or GitHub repo, you will see let me show you a live example. ah so let's say I landed up at Fossology's GitHub page. So you can look up the main website or anything that is linked there. Here we have the mailing list, and this is the main repo of Fossology. Or if you will open any of the repo, you will find the same thing. So we have something called contributing.md, which basically has all the information regarding the organization and how you as the newcomer can approach to that particular project. So here we have reporting bugs. So everything, if you want to contribute to a project, you will find everything regarding that here. Also, if you want to contact any of the code developers, you can do that. Also, you will find different community channels like Slack. Let me show you. Here we have so you can join Slack or any community forum, and you can directly approach the mentor. I don't want to open this. Also, if you want to solve any issue, then you can head over to the issue section and you can directly jump to that particular issue and you can comment down there. So let's say I want to solve this issue and I have looked up the code bases and I know what to do to actually solve this issue. Then I will comment down, say hi, I want to solve this issue. And apart from that, you will have to actually write that how you are going to solve this issue. This is my recommendation, because most of the times I have seen that people comment right down here and they want the maintainer to assign the particular issue to themselves, and after that they are not able to solve that. So if you have any question regarding that issue, then you can ask in the comment section and the maintainer is likely to reply to that particular comment. Also, if you want to directly solve, and then you can jump to the code base and make changes and open one pull request. Sahil?
Yes, apart from all this, so before jumping into the Slack channel, mailing list, or anywhere, like you must have seen people introducing themselves in the Slack channel,
Yep, yep.
and just bombarding the channel with their skills and whatever. So again, as a mentor, let's say I'm a mentor, and you are introducing yourself in the channel and saying that, okay, I know this and that I'm from this particular college. Okay, great. So what shall I do with your introduction? What's what shall I do with your introduction? It's of no use to me. So, and then people get frustrated. Okay, I gave my introduction and no one replied. So this one, if you say repeat in your mind, this one sounds silly, because it is silly. Like, why should someone reply to your introduction? Someone is replying, then okay, thank them. They are very kind. So before jumping into the Slack channel or the community server, read up that README twice. The README which is provided in the what the application, the project. This README, yes, not this one, the main README.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
opening it.
Okay,
Yeah.
read this twice, thrice. You should know what the project is about. What is it like? What technology does it use? Try using this project. Like Fossology has excellent documentation on how to install Fossology on your system. Also, now Fossology has some YouTube tutorials like what should you do after installing it. Many orgs don't have that. Many orgs have, but yes, you should first try that project on your local system. You will face many issues while installing it. You should clarify your doubts. You should clarify your doubts in the Slack channel, like, okay, I am getting this issue. How do I install? How do I resolve this? That's how you maintain a communicative approach in an organization, not just by giving yourself a big introduction in the channel. And again, be patient. Once you have picked up an organization, read up their contribution guidelines. Contribution guidelines come second, after I guess you have understood the project. What is it? What does it does? Like, also, this is a recommended approach. Many projects have the data flow diagram of their project, like how the project is interacting with the database. What is it doing? Read that first. You'll, if you find the project interesting, and again, it's not like you find the project interesting, now you will introduce yourself in the channel. Introduction is of no use. Okay, so find an issue, find a good first issue to solve. Not just limit yourself to good first issues, because I have seen many times good first issues are actually not good first issues sometimes, because
Most of the
I
times.
am most of the time I am tagging them. This issue might be easy for me. Okay, I think that, okay, this is a silly issue, let's tag it good first issue, but it not might be for you. So make sure to browse all the issues, because you'll find some easier issues in that process as well. You cannot say anything about that. Mm, again, Google your issue. Like, the first thing I do is copy the entire log present in the issue and just paste it in another tab. I get some valuable insights. Then I form my question. Then I comment down in the issue section itself. Okay, I have done my research. This is my outcome. This is, I think that, how can we solve it? And can you please assign me? Not just, hey maintainer, can you assign me? then I'll vanish away for 2 weeks, and this issue will get stale. And as it is assigned to me, no one else can pick this up as well. So that's a pretty bad approach. Don't do that. So, in a nutshell, that's how you approach an organization. Rest, we got this answer from a very famous person recently. We'll talk about that in end. Who answered this
Yep.
question?
Yep.
Yes.
So moving forward. Ah, so I've already showed you guys the project, the issue section, the pull request section. So let's move forward. So how to maintain an open source organization or any particular project? So I've already stated that I'm maintaining two of the projects for fossology. So how I am doing that? Let me show you one example. So two, three things I'm doing at this moment. If anybody, let's say any user opened one issue and it's my responsibility, the maintenance responsibility is to look at that issue and label it. The first thing I will do is to label it. If it's a bug issue, then I will label it as a bug, or sometimes it is a question and sometimes it is an enhancement. Also, if it is very what you can say unrelated to the project, then I can basically close that issue. Also, when anybody opens one pull request, then the maintenance responsibility is to review that. So first thing I will do is that I will ask another maintainer to review that. So after their approval, it's my responsibility to merge that particular issue. So let's say another maintainer who reviewed the project, we will he will basically go with all of the changes you have done. He will test that out. So let's say a new feature is implemented right here, and it's my responsibility to test that feature. So I will test that locally or on different platforms that this project basically supports. And after the approval, I will mm, Huh. So here I can if I want some changes, then I can comment that down and request for that particular changes. So let's say, hey, I don't want this particular line to be implemented like that. I want different feature to be implemented or different function to be written. So I want that changes. Then I will request that changes from the author itself. And most of the cases these changes are not as per the requirement of the organization, because let's say you are a new contributor, you don't know much about that project, and as a maintainer I know how the project is developed from the past years and how it is going ahead. So I want the workflow to be similar to that path. So I will ask you to implement different things or try out different things so that we align on the same goal. So it's a long process and it might take few weeks, few months, and I have seen 2 3 years for some rare cases. So this is a continuous process, and after the approval we align to a same goal which the project is actually going. And after the approval, the another maintenance work is to actually merge that. So my first recommendation is to be patient and to try out different things, to talk the maintainer on a regular basis that if they need any changes, then how can you implement that part.
Just,
Also,
just on a side
yeah,
note, get fundamentals strong,
yep.
because we also mess it sometimes or many times we can say. So in pull
That's true.
requests, like we have seen people abandoning their pull request because some mentor mentioned like, okay, you did great work, now just squash your changes. Now the contributor has no idea about what is squashing and he just leaves it pull request. So don't do that as well.
Let me show you like the example. So look at the commit history of this particular pull request, and I want
What
to
has
say
he
that
done?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So basically, he messed up his Git fundamentals, and now he's the author of all of the commits. And being a maintainer, I cannot merge this one, because if I will merge this one, then he will be co-authored in all of the different commits that different contributors had done already. So let's say at this particular moment he is authoring all of the files, and this is not something to be merged, and this is your responsibility as a author. You open the pull request, is after the approval you must squash this into one particular commit, because logically you have made only one change, and the change is here, and you will have to write down the commit according to that. And I will only accept one commit per one pull request. It is advisable, and most of the times it is followed in different organizations. So make one pull request, make one commit, and at the end your pull request will get merged after the approval. So this is how I personally maintain the project, project for GSoC, and my personal project. And Sahil, would you like to
Can
add something?
you can maintain your personal projects like this as well
Yep,
on GitHub.
yep, yep, yep.
This is not just for open source organizations. So again, it's all about building a habit. Yep.
Yeah. So, what are the different open source programs right now? So, uh, as I've already mentioned, that Google is trying to encourage more students into the open source world. Many other organizations are doing the same thing, and currently we have different programs. So, for open source, we have Google Summer of Code. There is something called Google Season or Dog, that is basically for the documentation part. So if you are a technical writer and you love to do technical documentation, then you can participate in that. Also, we have Outreachy, we have RGSoc, Hacktoberfest. Everybody is aware about Hacktoberfest. And then we have very specific open source program regarding a specific organization. For Julia, we have Julia Summer of Code. There is something for KD, Season of Code, or Docs, I don't know. There is Community Bridge, that is sponsored by Linux Foundation. Google Coding,
Just a
it's
on
not
to
live right
Google.
now. Yeah,
Yep, GCI is no more. Community Bridge was renamed to something else. You can Google that up. As
it's
Ayush
Linux
mentioned,
Foundation.
yeah, Linux engineering something or Linux mentoring something.
There is
You
MLH
have,
programs.
yeah, now you have MLH, you have Alibaba Summer of Code. Uh, there are plenty of them, like plenty of them. You can look it up.
Look it up on Google. Yeah.
Journeys.
Okay, so let me stop the sharing. Do we have any questions?
What is it to
Right.
write in proposal? Sorry.
Sahil, can you share your proposal?
Just a second. I'm trying to comprehend the question. What to write in proposal if I have chosen a project that was already listed? This is pretty clear. Like, let me share my screen. This okay. Okay. Is it visible? It must be on my GitHub. Let me know if my screen is not
Yep,
visible.
it is visible.
Okay. GSoC 2020. I should have listed my proposal here. Where it is here it is. So yes, so idea was to improve this platform comp model match, and as you have mentioned, like okay, it's already mentioned on the orgs idea list. So this was idea, you have to improve something. So in proposal you can skip this personal background, but yeah, you can add it. First mention, this is my basically my template or my format. You can follow, many orgs have their own template as well, so it's not compulsory to follow this only. Project information, what the project is, what my objective was, what I know, which is relevant to the project.
Particular
It's not
project.
like
Yeah.
I'm doing a machine learning project and I am mentioning, okay, I know embedded C, I know Arduino. So you should not spam this. Again, it's your own personal preference. You can do if you want to. So this is the most important part. You have to pour all of your energy in this portion. What is your implementation? What is your approach? How are you going to approach your particular problem? So I had a brief chat about all the issues with my mentor, and we divided in my project into three parts: bugs, resolving bugs, enhancement, and feature additions. So I literally gave a one-liner approach for all the bugs, features that I wanted to fix. So this proposal was made in a hurry. So don't judge it. So yep. So again, my approach for addition of features, what I'm planning to do, you can use hyperlinks. Okay, you can link to additional documentation. Now this is the like most important part. Okay, so we did our GSoC in the COVID era, and yes, you can call it. So we were not sure about timeline, how it is going to affect our college, so we didn't know anything. So that's why we were asked to add this note, so that there cannot be any miscommunication in future. So this should be as detailed as much, and it also should be very realistic. Okay, you cannot put in like, okay, I'll do the whole development work in 2 weeks, then I'll write the documentation in 1 week. You cannot go like this. You have to go in complete detail, or at least provide a gist. Again, this was my own personal preference. What am I going to deliver in the end? What are my other deliverables? My previous open source contributions in that organization or anywhere. For future scope, again, this is like the okay. This was a selected proposal. Let me open a proposal in which I did a lot of mehnat. Can say Pathology. Yep. Okay, so again, you can see the template is same because they were all submitted by me only. So this was the problem. Let it load. This was the current UI of the fossology. This is the current UI of the fossology. Okay. And I proposed something like, why this Google Docs is hanging? Where it is, where it is, where it is, where it is. Ta-ta, ta-ta. See, you can see the timeline here is very detailed, not like the previous one. My contributions in fossology, where the yeah. So these were my sample. You can. So this is more about POC, proof of concept, or proof of sample. Let's say you are developing a GUI application, and you can provide wireframes. You can provide wireframes for your application. So why not do that? That gives a very good impression on your proposal. So yep, again, you can see it's everything. Everything is same in every proposal. It's about 16 or 17 pages. So yes, any specific question about proposal? Like, I guess you have a pretty good idea about what to mention in a proposal. If you want to read this is available on my GitHub repository. You can have a detailed look what's written in detail. So yes. Nope. Alibaba Summer of I am an Indian. I did Alibaba Summer of code. That should give a pretty good answer. But what I
But this time,
want to add that this time the government of India added banned majority of their applications. The application on which you will chat with your mentor is also banned this year in India. So not sure about this year, but for last 2 years it was open for everyone.
yep.
Maximum limit is 3.
But
Rest
anything more than two will be too hectic for you, and you will actually divide your whole energy into three different organizations, and that will be not beneficial for you. So I will recommend you to stick to at most two organizations. if you are willing to participate in GSoC this time.
We were able to approach many organizations because the lockdown was imposed at that very moment, and we had a lot of free time. College had no idea what to do with online classes. Everything was shut down. So yes, that's why I approached three organizations. But yes, apart from two, you will end up scratching your hairs. Fixed descriptions.
Next.
Mm, this is pretty much self-explanatory, that you know the problem, then you should also know how to fix it. Let's talk about in the terms of competitive program, because that's easier for me to explain. You know a problem is going to be solved by binary search, then you know that you will implement binary search in that particular problem. So you'll give a description about binary search. So yes, that was a pretty lame answer, but I guess that should work. Can a fourth year student participate in GSOC? Uh,
Yep,
if
I
if
guess
you
you
are
can.
graduating in 2021, then yes, you can. Mhm. Okay. Mute myself.
All right. So, as all good things come to an end, so does this event. Thank you so much, Sahil and Ayush, for answering all these queries and conducting this event. It was really great to have you guys over here. And thank you everyone for joining us today evening. It was really great to host you all. Do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for further updates. Stay safe and good luck. Thank you, everyone.